Hey guys, and welcome to the latest in Sleepy Talk. Are they podcasts? Are they not? I don't know yet. Hope you enjoyed the last one, the Kong vs Godzilla trailer reaction review. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And today we're going to be talking about something that's very close to all of our hearts, and if you can't tell by the background, it will be Jurassic World Dominion. And Scott is Senor Grumpy still, but it's only been about 10 minutes since we recorded the last one, so yeah. So, what to expect in Jurassic World Dominion? Scott, Mr. Grumpy, what do you expect?
Nothing. No, I don't know. There's a lot of like little twists and turns you can take with it, to be honest. We know the Giga's coming back, so that's interesting. I mean, the Giga's been in the franchise, but just never been on screen.
Yeah.
So it's always like kind of been there from what I'm aware of. It's just never had its time on screen.
Yeah, it was referenced in the first one on the list, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Spino as well. Like the Spino, we don't know what's happened to that Spino.
No.
That was on. Is it Isla Sorna? I can't remember.
It's either Nublar or Sauna, isn't it?
Nublar, I think.
Was it Nublar?
Yeah, I think Sauna's world.
Sauna's the original park.
Isla Nublar
is the one where Alan Grant goes to rescue that kid.
Yeah, so we don't really know what's happened to that Spino either. And Rex is still about, and then obviously we've been teased to that the Giga's coming into it.
Yeah,
so,
it was the actor for Dr. Alan Grant confirmed it, didn't he, in an interview?
Yeah.
Said that the Giga is in this one. So I think it's really good that the Giga is going to be in this, and it's a genuine dino that's going to be the bad guy again. You know, Jurassic World seems to follow this trend, or has done so far, of these genetically modified past the point of it being close to its own species, like a prehistoric species. Obviously, they're all genetically modified to be dinos that are living today, but it's always like the Indoraptor and the Indo-Rex, kind of like a stretch, whereas it's quite nice and refreshing to have something that did exist being a bad guy. Well, we don't know whether it's going to be the bad guy, but I assume that the Giga, given that it's the same size as a Rex, will be forced to be reckoned with, we'll say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
one of the other bigger titans into Spino, the Giga, the Rex. Like, so we've had them all up to this point. I mean, I didn't mind the genetically modified like dinosaurs that they made. The first one did it really well, the Indominus Rex.
Yeah.
But
100%.
the second one was like kind of the just going away with it at that point. Like, let's make another one because everyone enjoyed it. And it's like, you should have just left it with the Indominus Rex.
I agree with you.
The
Yeah,
Indoraptor was cool, but it were kind of, I don't know, I kind of felt like the Indo kind of thing was being milked at that point a little bit.
Yeah. I think they set up the Indoraptor in the first Jurassic World anyway. Obviously they wanted the raptors to be trained to like go into, let's say, Afghanistan as part of like soldiers and stuff, and be trained to do that. And then I think InGen realized that there was massive flaws when it came to doing that. Huge flaws, given that when they sent it against the Indo-Rex, it communicated with them, and they turned around and then attacked the InGen operators. So I think that set up them creating their own raptor to then test to see whether it would be viable in a war zone situation. That was the whole plan for InGen anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we never got to see the final form, because that was only a prototype.
Yeah.
That wasn't the final one. Because they wanted Blue to make the final one so it could build up the
It was the genetics, wasn't it? Blue was like a perfect raptor. It showed empathy. It showed some form of higher intelligence, and was like an alpha in its own pack. And they tried to take the blood from it in the second film, didn't they? And they succeeded in taking its blood though. So maybe, just maybe, there will be another Indo.
They didn't succeed.
Did they not?
They went to do it, and
they let Blue out, didn't they?
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Instead of going to do it, they let Blue out, and then Blue attacks.
But Blue got shot right early on in the film, so there would have been blood from that. So there's nothing to say that they couldn't collect certain blood samples.
No, that's right. 'Cause when he's saying to get the blood, saying how perfect it is, he turns around to him and says, "I did a transfusion from a Rex, so it's not perfect anymore."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's when he got pissy about it.
You've watched the films recently, haven't you?
Yeah. The blood
I watched it today.
When obviously she'd been shot and they were on the cargo, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they had to do a blood transfusion to save Blue's life, and that's when they were messing around with Rexy.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So, once again, it's another podcast and I've been shut down by Steve again. Do you want to take over?
Steve knows.
No.
Steve knows.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. You've re-jogged my memory. So, yeah, but Blue's out in the open now, so InGen could capture Blue. There is a leaked or released picture of Blue in snow.
Yes,
that was quite interesting. Yep. It was going to be the background for this, but it was too pixelated, so I've just gotten this.
We've got 3 new locations: desert location, a snow location, and a different jungle might be used.
Yeah. So Blue is in the snow on one of these pictures. So that's interesting. Given from the first ever film, the Jurassic Park film, the type of things what they put in the DNA for the raptors, wouldn't they be cold-blooded? Would they not? She's used to tropical climate, so
I think it depends on what they were using.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, from like when you watch the films and stuff, a lot of the creatures they use as assets to make these dinosaurs, a lot of them are cold-blooded creatures like tree frogs, cuttlefish.
Yep.
So more than likely cold-blooded, but it depends on what they've thrown in there. It's science, in it.
And the thing that is always going to trend with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World is if there's a plot hole, they can say, well, they're genetically modified, so they can just throw something in really quickly.
Yeah.
Which is another. It's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, velos weren't meant to be that tall. Yeah, but you know, genetically modified. Like, it just seems to be the throwaway thing, but I accept it.
Definitely.
If it makes for a good film, it makes for a good film. Like, if plot holes can be covered up that quickly just by throwing one statement out, so be it.
Was the Utah Raptor not found or wasn't really discovered too well when Jurassic Park came out?
It was discovered after.
So
yep.
they'd already set in stone that these were velociraptors, so they couldn't change it halfway through the franchise. They go, no, these are Utah Raptors now.
Yeah. So the Utah Raptors, I think, if I remember rightly, are about 10 foot, whereas the velos in Jurassic Park are about 7 to 8 feet. So they're just a bit shy off the mark, but they almost came perfect to something that hadn't been discovered yet.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
The way they looked, everything. But it's they can't really do a lot about it. Like, they can't turn around and go, oh no, actually these aren't velociraptors, because that's where that actually comes in. This little thing where they can fill in the gaps. Like, they're genetically modified, so it's not going to be 100% accurate.
Yep.
You know, that's a perfect example where they could use that. Exactly the same with Spino. Like, you know, people going, oh, the Spino Jurassic Park 3, it shouldn't have done what it did. But it's like, it's genetically modified it was hyper aggressive. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same as what a Spino was or what we know of a Spino.
It's not a carbon copy of how it were back then.
No, it's completely
Exactly.
different, and that statement can go for the quadrupedal bipedal theory as well. Like again, like Spinos walked on all fours and stood on two legs when they needed to. It's like, yeah, but this is a genetically modified creature. Like, it's not meant to be 100% accurate. It's not.
It's a blockbuster film. Could you imagine the Spino just running at you like quadrupedal?
On all fours.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know whether to laugh, would you, or just?
I don't know whether it'd be more scary or not, but I think what they did, Jurassic Park 3 is a terrible film in its own sense, but it did have some really good moments.
Yeah, it did.
And I'll stand by it. I enjoyed it because the Spino was a cool, different dino. You've got Jurassic Park 1 and 2. The bad guy was always the T-Rex. You know, obviously the Velos had a lot of bad sort of scenes in there in Jurassic Park 1, but the T-Rex was the big bad.
Yeah, the T-Rex is the mascot, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's it.
And now Blue is.
Yeah, Blue's
100%.
Velociraptors are now, and there was almost like a passing of the torch in Jurassic World. The first one. It was almost a passing of the torch when Rexy comes out, starts attacking the Indo-Rex, and he's about to lose, you know? And everyone's thinking, oh no, he's going to die. And then there's that moment where the Baywatch scene, as I like to call it, where Blue sort of runs around the corner and is like, I'm going to fight now. And that was almost, for me, a passing of the torch, you know? And it's also a good reference back to the first Jurassic Park film when the Indo-Rex is beaten by the Mosasaur. They both look at each other, and you can see that the Rex has the scars from the original film still, from when the raptors were attacking it then. And it's almost like well, I'll let you go for now.
there's an essence of respect for each other in in that sort of that moment after the Indominus gets destroyed by the Mosa.
Yeah, there is I can't remember what VR game it was, whether it's VR game or what, but there was pre the second film and post the original Jurassic World. There is a moment where Blue and Rex do come into each other's sort of territories again, into each other's visions, and they do start to fight. But then the InGen helicopters come over again, and that kickstarts the second sort of like film. That's in the timeline anyway. So they're not friends anymore. I don't think they ever were. They just had one of those common sort of enemies.
Saved each other's life, respected it, went their separate ways.
Exactly.
I like what they did with Jurassic Park 3. Like, I take my hat off to them because they went against the grain and wanted to do something different, and they knew it could be risky. Like, it could like damage the franchise a little bit. But they thought, you know what, we're going to do something different. We're going to take it to take a different turn with it. And that's when they made the Spino and made the Spino the mascot for Jurassic Park 3. And to be fair, like I say, there's not a great deal like that we know of Dominion at the minute. We've had some snippets and some teasers, but they're kind of doing it again from what we can tell. Like, the Giga's meant to be the big guy in it. Like,
roles are reversed. That's
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So Jurassic Park 3, we'll forget about the bit where Alan Grant's on the plane and he's having a dream about a velociraptor sat in a seat. Hey Alan, hey Alan.
Alan, wake up!
But even in that one, the Velos again were baddies, and then, but they were continuous. So obviously there was a Rex in the third film, a young bull, wasn't fully grown, but was definitely an adult specimen that got completely destroyed by a Spino. Now, would Rexy have fallen to that Spino? Who knows? Probably not, though. because I think she was fully grown at that point. In the third
she was
film,
fully
anyway.
grown, and she
But she's
hung
old
on
now.
quite well against the Indo.
Yeah, but she's old now. So,
Yes,
and
she
I
is.
think, as much as we saw her completely demolish a Carno twice, I do think that maybe in this film it's going to be the end of Rexy.
Well, isn't this one 10 years after Fallen Kingdom?
I think so.
Set 10 years after, I think.
Yeah. So Rexy's definitely going to be in it, I think.
Yeah, Rex will be
Well,
in it.
you sort of see it at end, don't you, when she's going to that zoo and roaring at the lion.
But that's not 10 years after, though, is it? That's at the end of the second film.
Yeah, that's the end. That's like
that just not a pre-show to how it's going, though?
No, I think it's because obviously Battle at Big Rock came out after, and that's after that whole thing.
Battle at Big Rock must have been some years after they escaped, because the Allosaurus is massive.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't that big when they got out.
No.
And the ranger that looks after that camp told them, if anything happens, just sit there and be quiet.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
And obviously they weren't trikes, but you know what I mean. The horny boys.
No, I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
Ceratops.
Yeah, there's
probably
Ceratops
butchered
anyway. Yeah, they obviously had offspring as well.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly things have been breeding. The aloe, that could have been a different aloe. It could have been one that was born in sort of like our world.
Possibly.
More than likely.
It's just giving like a precedence to how the third film's going to be, you know, people living alongside dinosaurs, which is weird, which brings me on to one of the topics that I wanted to talk about the most was, where's the mosasaur? Because the last time we see it, it's eyeing up some some tasty surfers. And it's just there in the break of a wave.
So
Probably
there's a little bit of film at end Battle at Big Rock, and you see the mosasaur eat a great white after a great white eats a seal.
Mm-hmm.
So a great white takes the seal out, jumps up into air, and mosasaur just comes up and just swallows them all.
Do you think that the mosasaur will be dead for this film? Do you think it's going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they just find the Kraken on the beach?
No.
I don't think it will, but I don't want them to use it like they have, like in the first one.
I genuinely think that it's going to be dead for this film. I don't see where they'd put it in anywhere. It's either going to be shown, for me anyway, I think it's either going to be shown dead, or it's just not going to be referenced at all. Might be like in a news reading or something about another mosasaur attack, but I don't think they're actually going to use it.
I think it'll be referenced because his ships and stuff as a transporting of dinosaurs. I reckon it'll be something to do with that, attacking a ship. But other than that, nothing
I think
big.
it's going to get used. I don't think they're going to disregard it. It's just how they use it. Because like you say, I wouldn't want them to do the same as what they did in the first Jurassic World, like where it destroys the bad guy at the end, just out of nowhere. I'd kind of want to see it have its own little take on things.
Sort of like it did in the second one, where it just has its little tiny bit by itself, and that's it, it's done.
Yeah. Or they just don't sort of use it. But what they could do with it, they could use it as a spin-off. They could make a spin-off like kind of thing with it, if it survives or goes away or whatever. Like, isn't
like Dora the Explorer?
Dora the Explorer. No,
hey kids, today I'm going to show you how to eat great whites.
The Meg.
Yeah.
Isn't the Meg like something to do with that universe, or have I read that somewhere completely different?
I don't think the Meg's anything to do with it. I think the Meg's just one of those standalone films. I thought the Meg was from the studio that brought us Piranha 3D and stuff like that.
Was it? God, I don't even know.
I don't know. It does come across as like one of those sort of films, though. There's a good film. I just don't think it's part of this universe. But
It
if
might
they
not be. I can't remember where I read it about the Meg being like potentially part of the Jurassic universe, but yeah, now when you think about it, it literally don't make that much sense. So more fool me for like even scratching my head at it.
Well, no, it's still obviously Megalodon is a prehistoric shark. You know, it would be nice to have a Megalodon, but what I don't want to happen is random dinosaurs being shown that weren't part of the sort of ones that were released. Like, why would people go to Isla Nublar and pick up more dinosaurs to release them? Why would they? So I know the gig has been confirmed, but is it one that's escaped that's been sort of engineered in InGen again?
So what I reckon is going to happen there is we know we've got Lewis Dodson coming back, CEO of BioSyn. In first Jurassic Park, he tried to smuggle the embryos out.
Yep.
And there's been leaked photos of BioSyn vehicles and a plane. I think there's going to be something big with BioSyn coming on, with them maybe creating different types, different breeds, possibly even going into splicing like the Indoraptor and Indorex. I don't know.
So this is the other thing though. Would they like escape? Because surely, like by now, they should have really sorted out a way to stop dinos escaping. I mean, it's been 20 years. Like, come on.
It's been a long time.
If there is going to be a Spino in it, is it going to be the Jurassic Park 3 Spino, or is it just going to be a completely new Spino that's been developed by BioSyn that you've said? You know, there's so many questions.
I think they would use the one that's on Isla Nublar because that Spino has got its own character.
Yeah, definitely.
They just never went anywhere with it, but they could do. Like, I felt like it built itself a character up for itself in that film.
Yeah.
But like I say, whether they choose to do anything with it, we don't know. But it'd be nice if it kind of did end up coming toe to toe in the next film with Rexy and this Giga. It would make like a pretty cool little battle.
A nice little three-way.
Speaking of characters, though, the original trio are joining Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, and then the woman that I can't remember her name.
Ellie.
Ellie, that's it. Ellie. Yeah, so they're coming back into it. So obviously Owen and Claire are going to be meeting up with those three at some point, I imagine. Obviously, Ian Malcolm was already in Jurassic World 2. Fallen Kingdom. He was in the courts.
Very briefly.
Yeah, he was a speaker at a court session or something. I don't know what sort of session it was.
It's where America's trying to work out if they're going to save the dinosaurs or not.
Yeah,
he's telling them not to.
Yeah. So, yeah, is Alan Grant gonna meet Blue? Is he gonna have the resonating chamber? You know, when he tries to speak to the Velos in Jurassic Park 3? Is he going to try and speak with Blue? Is Owen going to get a little bit jealous with his clicky thing? So many different things like that. To me, it's incredible. Thinking that the originals are going to be in it. Obviously, that nostalgia for me. Jurassic World's done amazing, but nothing will beat that first Jurassic Park film.
No, absolutely brilliant. The animatronics that were done for that Rex and everything.
Yep.
Absolutely mind-blowing for time.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Jurassic Park's always been ahead of its time. Like, when they were produced and how they looked and everything, like, they've always been ahead of their time compared to other films.
Definitely.
Just think about the Gallimimus scene. How good the CGI was on that. That wasn't animatronics.
No, CGI. No. The same with the Rex as well in that scene. Like, that was a
That's
CGI
what I mean,
Rex. It looked incredible for the time.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It still looks incredible.
Good. Yeah, it's like there's films that come out even in today's like standard, like let's think of a spoof on like Velocipasta.
Velocipastor?
Yeah,
What's
Velocipastor.
that? What's Velocipastor?
It's like a priest that becomes a Velociraptor.
Yep.
Oh, Velocipastor. Oh, you
yeah.
mean like a pastor as in like a
The church.
man
Church
of the
pastor.
cloth?
Yeah,
Sort
man.
of-
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
yeah.
as in like, Talategi pasta, whatever it's called. Or
No,
something.
Tagliatelle.
Yeah.
The Italian pasta.
Yeah.
No.
Penny pasta.
Yeah.
Penny pasta raptor.
So yeah, let's use that for an example. Like the CGI in that is awful, and that's recent CGI. Low budget, granted, but recent. I'd expect low budget CGI nowadays to be high budget CGI from the 90s. You know, it's the same as what? What?
Velocipasta.
Yeah.
So what? So sorry.
You're right.
What? So what happens like in this film?
I don't know.
I've not seen it.
I've not
just
watched
heard
it.
about it.
What does he have a pet Velociraptor or something?
No, he turns into a Velociraptor. He attacks like
He turns
criminals
into
and
a
stuff.
Velociraptor.
Yeah, a
What,
bit-
like
a bit
you mean like a werewolf?
Like
Yeah,
that's it. That's
exactly.
exactly
That's
it.
That's it. That's the premise, and he attacks criminals and bad
yeah,
people.
it definitely sounds like one of them, like a budget film.
Yeah.
No.
What you'd expect these films to have, sort of like the level of CGI from the 90s, which
Well, yeah.
obviously they seem to fall short. Whereas, granted, a lot were animatronics in Jurassic Park, and the CGI that they did use could have been big. Like they had a lot of budget for it, because they were using animatronics in other places. Like CGI costs a lot of money, and
Yeah, it does.
let's
Still does
not let's ignore I've forgotten her name now. The girl.
Ellie.
No, the girl. Not the woman.
The girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Timmy
the,
and anyway, she's a
Yeah.
hacker. She's not a nerd, she's a hacker. And then she's hacking away, and that bit where it was going onto the computer, it was making that noise, and she was going in to unlock all those doors. Like, that CGI was awful. I can't remember her name.
I'll tell you.
So there was Timmy. I'm gonna have to Google it now.
Do it.
Yeah. Don't even know what to type. Lexi.
Lexi.
go.
I'm sure it was Lexi. Yeah, I've just had a look. Yeah, it was John Hammond's granddaughter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was So she was a hacker, but the actual visuals of her hacking was just awful. You know when Grant was holding the door trying to stop the Velociraptor from getting in?
Yeah.
He's holding it and holding it until she can lock it. And just that scene, like, that's an awful scene.
So, speaking about returning characters, we've got Barry, the guy that used to help Owen with the Raptors, and maybe Lowry as well, the guy who had the original Jurassic Park t-shirt.
Oh, the glasses, the geek, the nerd.
Yeah.
The one who Claire says, "Can you just be a man for once in your life?" And he's like, "You don't have to be mean about it."
Yes, that's one.
Great scene.
Yeah, apparently them two are coming back, and being confirmed we've got Franklin and Zia from Lost Kingdom as well.
Yep, the guy who screams like a girl at baryonyx coming at him.
That's one.
We'd all be men in that situation, wouldn't we? Like, you want a game of fisticuffs, Mr.
I
Barry?
wonder if they're going to use that baryonyx a bit more in this one.
It
Like,
died.
it's going to be a bit more of a pain in the ass.
It died.
Dies. No, it
When?
doesn't.
It didn't
It
die.
gets- No, it got put on boat.
It got transported.
Not that one. There must have been two Barrys, because that one had lava hitting it in the head.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
but it survived.
it's a baryonyx, mate. It's not a butterfly. It's lava dripping on its head's not going to be too big or
Mate, it
anything.
doesn't matter whether it was
It's
a
armoured.
like titanium car. lava dripping on it, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, but it had lava drip on its
yeah,
head, and it
the
tried to chase him up the.
Yeah, but how?
hole.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm thinking, right? Yes, there was a baryonyx that got transported across. I don't think it's that one because they locked it in there and lava covered it.
There was only one baryonyx.
Well, they locked it in so it couldn't get up, but it could still get out the way it came in.
Yeah, I mean, after it got lava on its head, it still managed to go after him. After it still looked pretty able, to me anyway.
And you see it a bit later on running as well from all the lava.
I'm just kind of confused at how that baryonyx would get out. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm
Genetics,
just saying,
mate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's genetically modified.
Genetically modified. So
yeah.
When that lava hit it on the head, it should have just been dead.
Yeah, like come on, it's lava.
Realistically, like as an animal, but it is a genetically modified dinosaur, and it's got armored plating. You notice it's got
diamond crusted
armor.
plating.
It's got this really like strengthened armor that runs down its back and the top of its head, like a bit like a crocodile.
It's a bit like vibranium, isn't it? That's where they crafted Captain America's shield from its plating.
DNA from Godzilla.
Yeah, that's it.
It's part baryonyx, part Godzilla.
Yeah, that was it. To be fair, I mean, if it had an atomic breath, I'd believe you. Because the look is just there. Maybe it had lava breath. Maybe it was its own lava.
Ooh.
That was it. But no,
I think we're going to see some more of the baryonyx though in this one. Like, I'm hoping we do, because I feel like it kind of needs a little bit more character.
I kind of feel like they've shafted the aloe, putting it in Battle at Big Rock. I don't think we're going to see that aloe again now. I don't think.
I hope we see a pack of aloes.
Yeah,
I really hope we see a pack of them. That'd be good.
Maybe the jungle setting.
I think the aloe will make an appearance. Whether it's a big part, I don't know. But I think the aloe will show its face. Same with the Carno. I think the Carno will be.
Oh yeah, the Carno, definitely. Yeah. That's going to be the annoying thing in there, I think.
Well, no, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. Because if you notice, there's always like a big bad guy, and there's always a little arsehole that just makes life harder for everybody as well.
Steve being the little arsehole, you being the big bad guy.
I was going to say Doctor Wu.
You are?
I was going to say Doctor Wu.
Yeah, to be fair, he has been a little arsehole.
Yeah, and he's still alive.
I like Scott's theory, though, that the baryonyx is going to be a bit annoying. I think it... I don't know whether he got enough... I know it sounds, like, bad, but I don't know whether it got enough screen time in the film to be that guy, if you know what I'm saying. Because there's a lot of dinos they could pick from. There's a hell of a lot of dinos. And they can't have too many characters.
The baryonyx just seems more like adequate for the job.
Definitely.
Being that character. He can swim, it's got like it's quite silent and all, isn't he? Like he's not like in your face. You don't see him or hear him until he starts getting closer to Claire when she's underground.
That's right, yeah.
I just feel like he'd fit the bill better than a Carno or like an Aloe. An Aloe's a bit too big. I mean something that's like not like that's big but not massive and kind of fits that spot. And I think the baryonyx like sort of fills that spot well.
It's sort of your middle ground, isn't it, between your Raptors and your Rex and even your Giga. It's sort of smack bang in the middle, and like I said, baryonyx is so much better than a Carno.
Versatile. But the only thing that I think is that the Carno is kind of stapled in a sort of like dinosaur franchise. Like you had was it Dinosaurs film? Where the Carno was the big bad guy. There's
Disney's Dinosaurs, that's where the Carno kind of got his fame.
And I just think that maybe the fame of the Carno might bring it through to being the little arsehole that gets bullied around by the Rex. Because the Rex never kills it. This is the weird thing. like the Rex never kills the Carno.
Tells it to get lost, basically, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is a little bit strange, which is why I'm kind of thinking like maybe it does have a bigger part to play. Because even when... So there's 2 instances where it could have killed it quite easily. There was when they were escaping the island, or when the first eruption happened, and there was that pyroclastic flow coming down the side of the mountain. It's going after Owen, and then Rexy comes out of nowhere, stamps on it, roars, and then runs off. Could have killed it then. Probably didn't, because there was lava coming. And then you've got the end of the film where the bad guy is hiding under his car, and then Rexy comes out, starts trying to eat him. The Carno is then trying to get a bite, and Rexy's like, no, get lost. Could have killed it there as well. So I don't know whether that's going to be a theme for the next film. The Carno is following the Rex around a lot. Maybe
both.
It's
a possibility, but isn't there more than one Carno? Like, I'm sure in that holding pen there was a couple of Carnos.
I don't know, mate. There were only one baryonic, so there's only allowed to be one Carno.
It's only because I'm sure there were 2 Carnos. Like, you seen 2 Carnos on screen together when they were getting smoked out by gas in that room, and they all ran out when she let him out.
Potentially.
And whether that's the same Carno from the island, I don't know.
Because there was a young Allo in there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a young Allo. Really young Allo. There was a was it a... What else was there?
Wasn't all that many carnivores, to be honest.
It was mainly the herbivores.
Yeah, there were a lot of herbies in there. There were a lot of ceratops. There was a sauropod in there. It was almost too tall to be in there.
Yes, it was.
I don't know whether there was a parrot in there. There might have been a parrot.
Oh.
Steve's best to know. But the parrot is another one that was kind of like a staple sort of character in the second film.
Yeah, the Lost World.
Everybody remembers the parrot, the parrot's roar or cry when it's being taken down.
But what about the Patchy?
Yeah, the Patchy as well.
Patchy.
The Patchy is Was it a Patchy, or was it a Oh, there's the other one, isn't there? There's the devil.
Stygimoloch.
Yeah, it's got more spikes on its head, doesn't it? It's the same as Apache, but
Stygimoloch and the Patchy, they in Lost World it was Apache. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Stygimoloch, but there is like theories and speculation and still research to be done on it, but some people are saying Stygimoloch was just a young Apache.
Yeah, it's the same as the Triceratops, isn't it?
What's that?
The Triceratops is now meant to have been a I've forgotten the Ceratops it was, but it's meant to be a teenage version of another Ceratops.
Taurosaurus.
Can't remember what.
There's so many Ceratops, you'd probably be digging for ages to try and figure that one out.
It was recent though. The Triceratops is meant to be is a teenage version of Triceratops. Taurosaurus.
Taurosaurus, is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Not bad. Yeah, that was just first one what popped
good.
in my head what I thought could resemble a trike.
Because it loses its nasal horn, doesn't it? The Taurosaurus doesn't have one. It has a bump, but it's not a horn. If I remember right. But the trike is a juvenile version of that.
I don't know. I mean, I can see the theory, but at the same time, I do think the different species. They've got different horn style and everything like that, so...
100%.
I don't know.
No, we're not. We're not the scientists, we're just the avid watchers and hobbyists.
We're just the speculators.
So, I like my trike separate
I like my tracks with a dashing of extra horn.
Oh.
So, yeah, anything else really that we can think of? Obviously, it comes out in 2022. Is it June or May?
10th of June 2022.
10th of June
Regardless, way
2022.
too long.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on sort of like trailers for it. It's just leaks for the minute.
Yeah, that's all I have leaks, and from what the director said about this obviously being the last one to tie all 6 films up.
Yep. Which is a shame, really, but I hope that they do a few more YouTube things, like they did Battle at Big Rock.
Yeah, I hope they do a series. I hope they make like maybe a series on Jurassic Park, but like completely different from the route they've gone. So maybe like a series based on Jurassic Park, like when it opens, or maybe like after all this, after Dominion.
Yeah. They do a camp. Is it
Camp Cretaceous?
Camp Cretaceous.
On Netflix,
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's animated in it.
Yeah.
It's a kids thing, really.
Yeah, more of something like HBO could get their hands on, or something like that. Do you know? Like that sort of.
Or
thing.
Disney.
Or Disney, yeah.
Disney Plus. You know. I get you. I feel you. I think things like Battle at Big Rock will be kind of like the future of the franchise if they pursue it. They'll definitely have a huge fan base that will be watching those. Even if it's like once every couple of months, they release something that's just
even
a
if they
10-minute
release a
dino
short
clip.
like that, like it'd still be something decent to do. I thought Battle of Big Rock were pretty good. Like I say, it was short, but it was still a good little watch.
Yeah, it had a
Very
story and it was action packed.
Yeah.
And it was short. Like you could literally watch it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then get on with the rest of your day and think, wow, that was really good. But yeah, I definitely think that'll be the future sort of scope what they go down rather than doing films. Obviously, they've already announced that they're closing off. It might be in another 10 years. There'll be another trilogy out.
They're making a game,
Earth.
aren't they?
Yeah.
They're making a Jurassic World game, but it's meant to be a third-person shooter, or you can like play as the dinosaur. Or something. I'm not. I haven't looked into it too much, but I've like seen bits or something that they are making a game, and it's meant to be third-person sort of thing. So nothing like the park building game or anything like that.
Still
Which
good
is,
though, that part.
It is good. Yeah. I got it on Steam and then I've got it on Epic because it was free over Christmas. So I'm like, I've got 2 versions of the same game, but I just wanted the license.
For me, the park building stuff it's fun and nice to do for like a brief period for me, but I'm kind of in the mentality of you build a park and then what you do, you just watch it. Like you're not.
Now you open all the doors and let them all fight.
Yeah, but it's just. You're just spectating all the time, aren't you? You're not really engaged in like. But again, this is just my opinion. Like,
yes,
I'm not trying to shit on anyone's day who actually enjoys these games because that's why they're made. Some people love it, and that's completely fine. It's just my take on it. I feel like it is just one of them spectator games. I don't really enjoy the sort of spectator type games anymore. I used to when I was younger, like Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that. But
theme park.
Yeah,
theme park were awesome.
Them sort of things I used to love when I was a kid. Like, but now they're not really my cup of tea. As much as I liked the Jurassic World Park Builder game, I found myself getting bored after like an hour or so. So
they're good for short stints.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes so long to build them up. Is it when you've done it and then you spectate and then you come off and then you're just not bothered about going back on because you've done all the hard work? The engaging part is the same as the zoo games and things like that. The engaging part is when you're trying to make everything look nice and everything survive, and then as soon as you've done that, that's it. And then the next thing is making money in the game, and that's it. So it does get a bit boring. I get that. They did bring out a VR game. I don't know whether it's official or whether it's fan made, but you can see the mosasaur in that one. you just go to different places and look at the animals. It's not like a game with missions or anything like that, but they did bring that out. Obviously you can play VR games without a VR headset, and you just don't get the immersive experience. But yeah, they did bring out one that is the Jurassic World Park. I think it's Indo Rex. So you can go around the park and view different attractions and things. But I don't know too much about that one.
Well, I think that dinosaur will always resonate within Jurassic Park now.
What, the Indo?
The Indominus. Like Jurassic Park, you know, if they make games or series or anything like that, I think the Indominus will always resonate within it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's in the park builder as well.
Yeah.
The Indoraptor too.
They're just moving monsters what excelled at what they were designed to do.
Yeah.
You know, be like these freaking natures that just destroy everything. So they, like I say, I actually really like the design of the Indominus Rex. Like I think they nailed that. It looked so cool. But Indoraptor, still cool. I appreciate it, but I just don't think it was that necessary.
It was a bit too smart.
Yeah, it was borderline freak intelligence, weren't it?
Yeah, the bit where he's in the cage and he's waiting for that guy to come and pull his teeth out.
Yeah, and it grinned as well, didn't it?
Yeah,
like
lifts his tail up first, then smiled and opens his eyes.
Whipped his tail up and then dropped it down and then did a grin and then no, come on. That to me ruined
borderline freak intelligence, like just like grinning. And like it knew exactly what it were doing and how it were doing it, and that kind of, it was like not scary, but it kind of had that horror effect to it because of how hyper intelligent it was and what it actually wanted to do. Like because it was that smart, it knew what it was doing. It wasn't just doing it just because it needed to survive. You know, it actually enjoyed killing.
But for me, it kind of ruined it a little bit. Like I said, the whole smile and the way that it opened its eyes and distracted it, like, I get it, like, but I think that scene ruined it. It could have literally just pretended to be dead and then jumped up as soon as he, like, tries to take his teeth out. It doesn't have to do the...
It added a bit of humour where it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like... It was creepy humour. It was like, no, and then it was kind of like, oh, right, okay. It ruined it for me anyway. Just
for
that one
me,
scene.
It was kind of one of them moments like, what the fuck? Like, it's grinning. And then, boom, that happened. It was sort of one of them like, wow, that's smart. But then when you look back, it just wasn't necessary. I don't think that film... I didn't enjoy the second one, like, half as much as the first one.
I think the first half of the second one was incredible.
Yeah, when they come off the island, it starts. It's just there to tie up to Dominion. That's it. That's all that's there for. Setting Dominion up.
And it kind of like with Blue, being the savior again, it kind of felt a little bit forced. I mean, they were. I mean, I don't want to get down this rabbit hole where I'm sort of trashing the film that I really enjoyed, because I did really enjoy the second film. I just didn't think it was as good or as iconic as the first. But there felt like there was a lot of forced scenes in there, a forced narrative, like Blue suddenly comes and saves the day again.
Yeah. Kind of seen it coming.
There's a cloned child. Like, why was that necessary for the film, really? Why did the child... I get it. Like, it made for a good story. But in my eyes, it was kind of like...
We're going down a different rabbit hole with it.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
again,
that's... yeah, like, the whole cloning and genetics, it ties into it, but it starts getting a bit dark when it's like a human child that's been cloned, and I don't think we really need to explore that. But it kind of opens up Jurassic World to have that darker side to it. So if they wanted to like make things dark, it's not like as out of the ordinary because they're slowly trying to deliver it in there.
I think it was all crammed in though.
Yeah, I can understand that. It was sort of like just shoved in.
Yeah.
There wasn't no like necessary like gradual build up to anything. It was just
No.
like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a cloned kid. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
It was
What?
almost as if they'd thrown it in to give her an excuse to let all the dinosaurs out.
Yeah.
But Owen and Claire could have done that. Like, it wasn't out of character for them to let those dinos out.
No, especially
Maybe Claire though, because she saw them as assets to start with in the first film.
Yeah, and she looks at them completely different now, doesn't she?
Yeah. So maybe Claire would have been... Maybe for Claire it would have been perfect. Because that would be her not seeing them as assets anymore and seeing them as things. Because when the brachiosaur dies, that iconic scene where the lava sort of like catches up to it and the steam rises up and you just see the shadow of a brachiosaur lifting out. Like, iconic scene, amazing scene.
That scene upset so many people.
I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of it just to put up on here while we're talking. But at that point, I think she then stopped seeing them as assets.
Yeah, she starts seeing them as real creatures then. She's like, you can see the look in her face and her eyes, just watching it die.
I think she discovered that like before that point though, because that's why they went back to the island. Like it was her who wanted to actually set up that mission to go and do that. Like that's why she called in Owen Grady to go back. So I think she'd already realised that before that anyway.
I think it was there, but that just made it more prevalent. She wanted to save them she knew they were animals, she wanted to keep them, she didn't want them to go extinct. But then watching that, just the face of sorrow and everything else on it.
I think she kind of felt guilty because she was a part of it all. Like, at that point, you know, she was like the CEO of it, weren't she? Or like the manager, you know, she was quite high up within Jurassic World.
Yeah, she was very high up.
So, yeah, I think she also like feels somewhat guilt, but at the same time, like that is probably maybe one of the moments where it kind of like the final piece of the puzzle was there for her.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
If that makes sense, anyway.
Yeah, it does make sense. I completely butchered the actual background on here. You guys went massive. I completely ruined
Makes
it.
a change abnormally small.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. But I'll just put the original back in. There we go. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. There's Claire has a very nice linear sort of character development. You know, she's a hard ass to start with, and she's all about money and numbers and stuff. And as it's gone on, she's become more and more like Owen.
Yeah, she's changed a lot. Like, she has more respect for them as living creatures than just assets.
Whereas I think Owen has become more like Claire. He's gone on a linear downwards. I think Owen realises the severity of these being released. Whereas Claire's kind of like going up there, they're living creatures, they need to be protective, and Owen's like...
Yeah,
oh
I can see what you mean.
Owen can see what damage they can do.
Owen's
He was fine when they were on an island and they're not going to escape and kill people. But as soon as people's lives become in danger, he don't care about them anymore. He cares more about the humans.
Yeah, both on you've hit the nail on the head there. Like Lou says, Owen's a realist, and like you said, Stephen, he cares more about human life than he does, obviously, the life of an animal. It just ties into him being a realist, like you said, Lou. He knows what sort of damage that would cause for us, them getting set free.
Yeah.
So, but
it's an extinction level event, isn't
because
it?
they're free and they're roaming around.
Well, like I said, extinction level event.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to cause. I think that's what we're going to try and have to stop.
I think when it boils down to it, though, if we really wanted to get rid of them, we could do. Like in terms of the military, what we have is absolutely insane. Rexy wouldn't be able to take a missile to the face from a tank or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a
it's a long,
I don't know,
laborious project.
This sort of topic, there's so many routes you can take about what we think could happen or how we think things are going to happen or what they could do and what they couldn't do. It is so big. But I guess we'll have to wait and see when the film comes out, which is so far away.
I know.
Hopefully, like when the trailer drops, we'll do a reaction like we did with Godzilla and Kong. I think we're well, this is going to tie off, and I think that's what's going to happen, Scott. I think that I've just moved you guys again by accident. I think that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a missile that's shot at Rexy. Rexy's going to die. The Indo-Rex nearly died from the missile, you know. Definitely shook it. But then the raptors attacked, so...
If it hit it definitely died.
Oh, yeah. It hit the trees next to it and it blew it off its feet. Again, like, it's one of those... There's definitely going to be more of an issue taking out the flying dinos, like your pterodons and pterodactyls and stuff. Definitely going to be more of an issue.
They had to do that after... Which one would it be escaped on?
It was Nublar, wasn't it? Or was it... Yeah. Was it Nublar? Or was it the... It was one of the original three.
Yeah, they escaped
off.
They escaped off that. I remember reading something about having to go to Canada to take them out.
Yeah, well, obviously more have been released now because the bird's nest was broken into in the first Jurassic World.
Yes.
So there's thousands, and obviously at the end of the second film, the wedding when they release the doves.
Yep.
And pterodons swoop in and just take out these doves. Like, this is the thing, the whole sort of ecology and environment has completely changed. There's new apexes out.
All the herbivores destroying plant life.
Exactly. So we've got a lot to kind of look forward to, and at the same time there's a lot of unanswered questions, and there probably will be a lot after the film. But they're genetically modified, so I'm ending it there.
Yeah.
Take care.
Adios.
Bye.